Welcome, this is Shakti Carola Navran, your online astrologer. So I'm doing this weekly forecast for you, and my intention is to get you inspired and plant my excitement and passion I have for astrology, a little bit of that in you. So I have been an astrologer for 38 years. I'm what we call an evolutionary astrologer. So I look at a birth chart, I look at the transits, whatever is happening in the heavens right now, from the perspective of choice. So there is always in the potential the planets are presenting us, there is always a choice between what we would call more the low-end things of possibilities or the higher-end manifestations of any planetary potential. So the only deciding factor which way it will go is our state of consciousness. Oops, I forgot the light. Sorry about that. Now let's do this here. I just came back from a wonderful brunch with girlfriends, so I'm running a little late with everything here. But I made it. I'm here. So anyway, evolutionary astrologer is the astrologer of astrology of choice, of freedom. And my intention with these forecasts is to, on one hand, give you very specific guidance for every day throughout the week. So we're going to go through each day and see what's happening astrologically there. But I also want you to give you something to think about, something to contemplate, which kind of catches the spirit of the week and what's up. So a little philosophical thoughts. So whatever I do in my forecasts is important for you to know where it happens in your chart. So if you don't know your chart, you don't know where your sun, your ascendant, your moon and all the other planets are, then you can go to my website, mauiastrologyreading.com, and get your free chart and what I call the love stone for your Venus position in your chart. You might know, if you have been listening to me, that I used to be a jeweler for 33 years and I worked a lot throughout my professional life, half of that life, with the healing powers of gemstones. As an astrologer for almost all my life, hi Sherry, nice to see you. So as a professional astrologer, I always was looking for ways how to support challenging areas in your birth chart for you. So gemstones can do that. They can do that because they become an anchor for a certain perspective, for a certain way to look at yourself, and it can become an anchor for a focus, for an intention, a goal you're holding. So, and then of course, gemstones hold a specific frequency in a perfectly balanced way based on their colors, their crystal structure. So working with gemstones is a beautiful thing. It nourishes our soul. So today I not only want to do Babylonian astrology bubbles, so I really want to get very concrete and also teach you about those principles, because if you continue following me for different forecasts, you're going to learn a lot about those astrological principles and what they stand for in our own inner dynamic. And then by the realization and awareness, then you have the choices to go from the low end, which is usually an unconscious way of responding to higher levels of expression. So if you don't know your chart, take me up, go to my website and get your free chart, because then you can kind of see where anything I'm describing is happening in your chart. Like, for example, yesterday I just launched a video for the upcoming solar eclipse, a new moon solar eclipse in Virgo. So make sure you catch that. It is on this page for you. So whatever's happening in the heavens, if you don't correlate it back to your chart and your inner planetary aspects and what they symbolize in your life, then you won't get too much out of these forecasts. It just stays very general information. So, okay, so whenever we experience pain, that it's usually happening something in the body. It's a physiological response. But then there is that suffering we often experience, and suffering is mainly happening in the mind, in the framework we hold certain experiences. So astrology can really open up that mind, and even if we have painful experiences, it doesn't necessarily mean we have to go into that down spiral of suffering. So I hope that these forecasts for you will experience as very empowering. You're going to be prepared for what's happening. And with this week looking forward, I want to make sure that you can surf the wave, as we here on Maui say. So any child here on Maui knows there is no use in trying to fight against the wave. So if you're in the ocean, you want to surf the wave. You want to turn around and go with the energy flow. And with planetary transiting energies, it's kind of similar. So you can't really fight your way through, but through consciousness, you can make educated choices based on what's happening. Okay, Sherry, rising sign in Aquarius. Hello, sister. My moon is in Aquarius. Okay, so let's see. When we do astrology, we work with the time quality of that potential of the beginning moment. And then it can play out in many different ways of manifestations in the three-dimensional world. So when I do this weekly forecast, I kind of focus a lot onto the moon. So as we know, the moon is pretty fast, goes through the whole zodiac once a month. So we have 3, sometimes 4 signs every week the moon is kind of passing through. So even if that's only for around a couple of days, it is a very strong impact in the moment it happens. And it's a strong impact which impacts us unconsciously, because the moon rules the unconsciousness, where we react because we have experienced a certain conditioning and have certain set points. If somebody triggers us, then there is a certain reaction coming out of us. So this week we'll look at the moon in Taurus. Today it's still in Aries. Taurus, Gemini, and then Cancer. So also this week the sun will be transitioning into Virgo. So the sun, of course, takes about a month to go through one sign, so it's in that sign for a longer time. And remember, the sun is the king of the solar system. I just watched a documentary yesterday about the secrets of the sun. From an astronomical perspective, and it's pretty awesome. I mean, the size of the sun, the powerhouse the sun is, the influence it has with all those eruptions hitting our energy field here on the Earth, the Earth energy field, our individual energy fields. So the sun is really, really a big deal. So in astrology, the sun in us is symbolizing our self-identity, is symbolizing how we are able to shine from our consciousness into the world. So whenever the sun goes into a new sign, there's really a shift in consciousness and awareness in how we perceive things and what is kind of in the forefront of our perception. So Virgo is an earth sign, is ruled by Mercury. Virgo is the archetype of the servant, the teacher, the one who loves to contribute. And that reminds me always of Tony Robbins, who talks about the 6 human needs we all carry. And the 6 human needs is the need to contribute. The 5th is to grow, and the 6th is to contribute. So if we want to experience a full, satisfying, meaningful life, we can only have that if we kind of grow out of our ego perspective. So if you have been following me, I've been talking about the waves in the ocean, which Carl Jung used a lot, that perspective, to talk about the top of the wave as our identity, our ego perspective, which is 5 to 10% of our wave, of our consciousness. And that relates to the sun. This is what we are conscious of. Then he talks about the belly of the sun, the wave, is our unconsciousness, which is 90 to 95%. Hi, Diane. So that era relates to moon. So the belly of the waves, the belly of our soul, is where a lot is happening under that threshold of awareness. So just by paying attention to the astrological changes and shifts and qualities, you can learn a lot about unconscious dimensions inside of yourself. And therefore you will grow over time. You will be able to hold things in a wider perspective, and you will lower the bar from the 5 to 10%, maybe down to 15%, maybe over time to 20%. Also, any kind of inner work, like therapeutic work, workshops, kind of do that. They lower that bar, and you become more self-conscious. And I do believe that's why we're here. We're here to grow. We're here to contribute. We're here to really make this place a better place. So I always ask the people joining us here to share their sun, ascendant, and moon, if you know that. So I want to share mine. So as I already said, I have moon in Aquarius. I have sun at the very end of Taurus. And I have Gemini rising with the Mercury, the ruler of the chart, in the 12th house in Taurus. So I am very attuned to those mystical, non-physical, spiritual dimensions. But then with the Taurus side in me, I'm able to kind of bring it all down, make it very concrete, very applicable. So that's always my intention with whatever forecast I'm doing, is to empower you, and so you go away with 1 or 2 thoughts you might want to implement. Okay, so let's see. We today start out with the sun square to Pluto. Pluto is the god of the underworld. Actually, it's a moon square to Pluto, sorry. Pluto is the god of the underworld, which kind of brings things into awareness from the belly of the wave. And the moon is kind of connecting us to our own inner world of feelings, of emotions. And if you ever listen to Abraham Hicks, the law of attraction, they talk a lot about how we actually attract into our experience from how we set our intentions and our desires driving us, and that our emotions, I talk about that they are our guidance system. So if we feel low and bad and anxious and depressed and blue, that is usually a sign that you're not really running on the high-end possibilities of things. So listening to our emotional set point and to become more aware of that, symbolized by the moon, goes a long way with being able to experience higher emotions and to be more joyful. Okay, so today we start with kind of intensity, with kind of ability to be more honest with our own self. And then we move tomorrow, Monday the 22nd, into that sun shifting into Virgo. So that is a big deal because it's a starting for a month where we are more in touch with that we are not alone. We are connected with everybody else. I mean, just if you look at the wave in the ocean, the wave is part of the ocean, but then there are all these other waves. So the truth is, we are all one. We are connected. So people in their birth chart who have a strong Neptune, Pluto, or Uranus, they usually experience that as a big connection from their individual sense of self with a bigger perspective, a more spiritual, truer perspective in a way. So the truth is that we are the wave and we are the ocean. So waking up is just shifting that point of identification from the top of the wave to where the wave meets the ocean. So for me, I'm always presenting that metaphor. So sorry for Diane, you have to hear it again, but I think it's very helpful and powerful, and it's a good reminder to look at things happening to us in our life from that more educated perspective. Okay, so during the summer with the sun in Virgo, we will be more attuned to finding out about right livelihood. That's a Virgo theme. So Virgo, usually they become very skillful, they're very good at something. And if we can do that in the area where we make a living, so if we can make a living with what we're really passionate about and what we're good at, and we can bring those two aspects together, that is when we actually can become truly successful. Because successful is not just the money you make, it's really how you are in alignment with your whole potential. So the summer with the sun in Virgo is a reminder to really adjust and attune, if you haven't found yet the ability to make money with what you love to do. And that's something we all have available, but it often takes courage and certain choices to really go for it. Mm-hmm. So also Virgo is a sign of the servant, so that's a good month. If you haven't found any area, project in your community you can support, you might really want to pay attention. I mean, helping out in a soup kitchen, taking care for animals at your shelter. I mean, there's so many things we could do. So just feel where your heart wants to guide us. And I can promise you it will go a long way to making you more appreciative and grateful for what you do have. And it just makes you feel good. Mm-hmm. Also, Virgo connects to wealth and nutrition and everything what has to do with wealth. So that's why I'm going to talk a little bit today about how we can do that. We can take care for our body and our health. Okay, so Sun enters Virgo and the Moon enters Taurus, all happening on Monday 22nd. Moon, again, that emotional set point. Taurus, also an earth sign, the first earth sign, while Virgo is the second. So Taurus, ruled by Venus, very grounded, very much in the body, very practical. So Monday starts us into a week where we are supposed to get a better handle on how to be with practical realities. And one of our practical realities is our physical body, and if we feel healthy in that body. So that's why I want to talk a little bit about health and nutrition and what it takes to keep that body going without being in too much pain. And of course, we all go through phases when something is hurting and not working, but there is actually a lot we can do. So I just read a wonderful book from a guy called Medical Medium, Anthony Williams, and because I'm a migraine sufferer, so I have read a lot of books and trainings about health, and this guy really sticks out for me. So his whole thing is that a lot of those so-called untreatable, mysterious illnesses are based on Epstein-Barr. So he says there are actually 60 strains of Epstein-Barr, which are normal medicine hasn't discovered yet. I think they have one or two. And I know I have it, so that's why I got really fired up with the information he gave. So basically those Epstein-Barr viruses, they hide away, they have a long incubation time, and whenever your immune system is lowered for whatever reason, then they thrive, then they go out. and do something. So his whole approach is through food, which I always like if I don't have to swallow a lot of supplements or medications. So his idea and approach is that if you feed the body a live, high energy, living food, that then you enable the body to take care for whatever bacteria or viruses is invading the body. So I have been on this program actually for 6 weeks now, and I must say I really, really like it. I feel more alive, and I juice twice a day, and it's a wonderful thing to do. Hi, Mary Beth. Good to see you. I love you guys visiting me here live. I feel very supported, and it's wonderful that you appreciate this work I'm doing. Because without you, I mean, I would just be talking into this empty space, and you can only do that so long. So I kind of need that interaction, and even if you want to leave me comments after the live portion is done, I will always answer back to comments you leave under my video. So ask away, and we're gonna have this dialogue going here. You can also already put down some questions now. If I come to the question and answer portion, then I can get to that. Okay, so live food, raw food, fruits and vegetables are an important part to feed your body, so your body can take care for you to stay healthy. But also, I think it's very important to be aware that we are so exposed to so many toxins, plasticizer, chemicals in our food, especially if it's not living food, it's processed in some way. So just eating good might detox us over a long time to some extent. But I'm also a firm believer into detoxification. And detoxification, one way you can easily do at home is coffee enemas. I love my coffee upside down. Colon therapy. So Paracelsus, he used to say the death is sitting in the colon. So I know a lot of healers and practitioners totally agree with that perspective, that if the flora, the bacteria in the colon, in the digestive system, if that's not balanced and strong, it has all kind of repercussions, and if the intestines are healthy, your brain cannot be healthy. It's foggy, you forget things, all that kind of stuff. So feeding the body with good nutrition, alive nutrition. I mean, I probably have 95% unprocessed food in my diet, and I can feel the difference. And so feeding your body is one thing, but then detoxification of everything you have accumulated and stuffed away in your fat layers and in your organs, all that need to come out at some point, because otherwise, imagine you have a garbage can and you just stuff things in, stuff in. At some point it's going to overflow, and you're going to attract rats and critters, and it's kind of similar with the body. If the body is not clean enough, then there's a lot of compensation going, and you just don't feel good in your body. So check out this guy if you feel the need to support yourself with your health and nutrition. And I believe as a spiritual soul, to live in a healthy body and to be out of pain and suffering goes a long way. So this week we want to pay attention to the physical aspect of it, but also, of course, how we frame things and what framework we experience something goes a long way with not identifying and fall into true suffering. Okay, so let's go back to the week. Tuesday is a quieter day, 23rd. We have a sweet moon sextile Neptune. So that's a day to feel inspired, That's a day to make some time to slow down, to get inspired from your inner world, from the deeper layers of your wave. And Neptune is the mystic, the connection to the ocean. So it's a day where you can feel much more connected with a deeper reality. So it's good to meditate, a good day to allow some moments of spaciousness there. And it's always a good reminder because we're all super busy with doing things. Okay, Wednesday the 24th, Moon enters Gemini. So after being in this very practical, earthy, physically oriented emotional set point, now we become more open, more flexible. Remember, Gemini is the storyteller, the communicator. And I look at Gemini as a butterfly, going from flower to flower to flower. So it's a very experiential sign. So with our emotional set point in that sign for a couple of days, we really want to go out, have experiences, meet new people, communicate, connect, socially interact. So that's the couple of days of the week where you definitely want to do that. Also, Mars conjuncts Saturn on Wednesday. So Mars, our life force energy, Mars low end, violent abuse, war, high end, courage, building the courage muscle, standing up for yourself. So as you know, all the planets can show up low end or high end. So just by naming that variation of possibilities, it gives you more of a chance to move up the ladder. So high end Mars is finding your passion, connecting with something more powerful, something when you're in the flow with it will really enliven you. So that Mars up there is conjuncting with Saturn. Saturn, we know, is a planet who slows things down, gives us troubles by confronting us with angst, with anxieties, fears, inner limitations we feel. So Mars meeting up with Saturn might feel that the energies don't flow quite as well as we want them to. And to bring Mars-Saturn together on the high-end level is to not only know and find out about your passion, but then to take action steps. That's what they both love. Saturn wants you to apply yourself, wants you to climb the mountain, wants you to take action. Saturn keeps a goal in mind, and then Mars helps you to take those action steps. And as important it is to have an intention and a vision and a goal for down the road where you want to get to. But if that's it, if you never take any action, you will never gain that momentum to move towards that goal. So that's kind of really sad. So Wednesday is a day where you can connect deeper with that truth. And then there's also Venus opposition Chiron. Venus, the lover, the artist. Venus connects with our heart and what we're looking for in intimacy and love and connection. So connecting in an opposition with Chiron brings in an opportunity, but also a challenge around healing, something around your heart. And usually it's a pretty safe bet to say that we all have to start with healing our own inner wounds. Growing up, there are many wounds, many things we experience. So to start to deal with those wounds and sensitivities goes a long way. And whatever sensitivities we have in our relationships usually go all the way back to our childhood. So this is a day where we can face some of those wounds, some of those sensitivities, and just gain clarity and learn how to express ourselves and ask for our needs, that they will be met. So especially we women, we often expect our partners to know, or we have said something once and we expect them to remember and do that. And it's not really how it works. We have to keep showing up for our own self, be on our own side, and stand up for our needs. So Wednesday is a good day to really be in contact with that. Thursday, Moon opposition, that Saturn-Mars conjunction, just means that there will be an emotional connection, that you really feel emotional around where the energy doesn't quite flow. So you might feel agitated or depressed about it, but nevertheless the solution is to take action, even if it's just the first step. Then Friday, Moon enters Cancer, and it's in its own sign there, so it's a very powerful moon. And Cancer is a sign of family. It's a sign of bonded connection. So family starts out to be the family we were born into, but later on in life, it's really the family we choose to have around us, the family we create. And it's not just our marriage and children, it's also our close friends, people we really bond with and care for. That's a quality of Cancer. So you can expect to feel a little more vulnerable with the moon in Cancer. You feel more strongly, you're more easily triggered, and nevertheless there is a higher potential for compassion and connection and awareness of that connection from soul to soul, wave to wave. Okay, also Mars squares Neptune on Friday. So we already had a Mars-Saturn connection, now we have a Mars-Neptune connection. So it's kind of a fine-tuning of our physical energy, of the opportunity to touch into the field of the ocean where all true artistic creativity and inspiration is coming from. So again, that's a day to be inspired and take action. Oh, this is my cat. You might hear it. Okay, then Saturday, the 27th. So Venus conjuncts Jupiter, which is a very expansive energy. So both planets are looked at in astrology as benefactory planets, good planets, so-called good planets. But remember, every planet has a downside and an upside. So, but nevertheless, Venus is a goddess of the heart, of connection, of love, and buddying up with Jupiter, the king of the Roman gods, this gregarious figure, is an invitation to grow. It's an invitation to grow in your heart and how your ability to connect and love and feel compassionate can grow. So it's a little longer transit than just a moon connection. So here you have a week, I would say, where you're invited to expand in your heart, to tap into that deeper reality of who you truly are. And you're not just the top of your wave, you are so much more. Sunday, hopefully we see each other again next Sunday. And again, like today, we have a Moon-Pluto connection. So again, it looks like Sundays right now are the day where we have the time and the inclination to take a deeper look. And to join me here for this forecast is definitely one way to do it. So again, Pluto confronts us with unconsciousness, but also gives us connection to something valuable down there. So Pluto is also known as a god of the underworld, but also the god of the jewels and gems and precious metals in the underworld. So whenever we go through very intense Pluto times, let's say in your birth chart, then when you come out of that, there's usually a very deep transformation which has happened, which most all people I have talked with say I wouldn't want to miss that tough time because it brought me to where I am today. So if you are in a tough time right now, you want to keep that in mind to hang in there, because if you do the work, the work with those deeper layers inside of yourself, you're gonna dig up those gems. Talking about gems, here is a question coming in. Best gem for the week. Thank you. I tend to forget that, so good reminder. Okay, so we have made it through the week. So one of my favorite gemstones is the Herkimer diamond. So let me see, where do I have it to show you one? Yep, sorry. Herkimer diamond. So the Herkimer diamond is a double terminated crystal which has almost no belly. So the plus and the minus is so close together. When they're smaller, they get very crystal clear. The bigger ones have inclusions, which I don't mind because they're beautiful. This one has a rainbow if you look at it in the right angle. So this is a wonderful stone. They're reasonably priced, so you can get some bigger chunks. You can meditate with them. So you can lay them on your heart, you can lay them on your third eye, on every chakra, and it will unblock that chakra. So you can have tiny little Herkimers, and you can tape them on where you have your knee is hurting, so you put a Herkimer diamond on. So what it does, it kind of energizes that area you put it on. So that's why when I still was doing jewelry, I did a lot of gemstone jewelry with Herkimer diamonds, where you wear it on your heart chakra, which is the middle chakra between the three uppers and the three lowers. So Herkimer diamond is a very powerful stone, which I recommend to use all the time. And it does that balancing in our energy body. It strengthens our own energy field, so we are not as impacted by the radiation from all the gadgets we surrounding ourselves with. So that's a wonderful stone to use. Another stone I would recommend specifically for this week, because of the Venus-Jupiter action, would be the pink tourmaline, which is called rubellite. So they actually, you can get them as crystals or as cut stones, and it's a wonderful stone for the heart, because it's a stone which helps us to heal those wounds we are all carrying, those wounds around self-love and being self-critical and judgmental and all that. So rubellite kind of brings that sweetness, that love and compassion for our own self. And that's where we have to start. We can't be truly loving and compassionate for others if we haven't found that in our heart for our own self. So rubellite is a wonderful stone to teach us to take care for our own set point, our own heart first. But then it's also a stone which already opens us to let it flow over. So that's why I love the rubellite, because it's not, I mean, the rose quartz is all about that self-love, that sweetness. But rubellite goes one step further and kind of wants us to grow and expand and act from that loving heart, from that kindness. So I think that would be a wonderful companion for you this week. And yeah, so focus on awareness around your physical health and what you can do to help your body to keep it up or to heal yourself wherever you are. And pay attention to your heart and the guidance of your heart, which is really the guidance of your higher self. Okay, are there any more questions, my dears? Otherwise, you can always add them later. And okay, so yeah, I think that's what I wanted to share with you today. I think that's it. So if we don't have more questions, I don't want to keep you longer from your Sunday. I wish you a wonderful week. get back to me. If you happen to like the video, please like it and share it with your friends. That's a wonderful way to appreciate what I'm doing and help me to reach out to others. So have a wonderful week, and don't forget to sign up for your newsletter so I can keep you in the loop with whatever I'm doing out there in cyber world. So aloha, as we say here on Maui, and have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Thanks, Sherry. Bye.